A fun fact?
Is it that USC is one of 5 teams in the nation to be ranked in the top 10 in both basketball and football?
That's right. You beat me to it, Chloe. Your USC Trojans are ranked number 11 in football and number 10 in basketball.
Sports scene
starts now. Welcome to the fabulous Annenberg Media Center. I'm Hannah Wing.
And I'm Chloe Chrissy-Kopoulos.
Let's talk Colorado football, Chloe.
Let's do it. All right, so USC against Arizona. Darnold had a great game. He had 311 yards and 2 touchdowns. And for the season, he has 2,869 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. He had 1 interception against Arizona. And kind of reminded me of that 2015 Super Bowl pass that Russell Wilson had on the 1-yard line. Kind of rough. But you know what? We still came out with a win. Let's check out Colorado's quarterback as well. He's looking pretty good this season. Coach Helton had a few things to say about him. He said that he is looking really young, but really sharp this season. He has a pass completion rate of 56%. He has 2,400 yards for the season, 16 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions.
Here's another notable player, Ronald Jones. What are your thoughts on Jones, Chloe?
I think that he is a really, really great running back. You know, he has had 1,000+ yards for both seasons.
He is just incredible. You know, he had 194 yards against Arizona, 3 touchdowns, just an incredible powerhouse to play for USC. Over the season of this year, he's had 1,082 yards, 159 carries, and 13 touchdowns. Let's hear what Helton had to say about the future upcoming game.
Montez has really progressed as a quarterback. You know, he was a freshman last year. Really, I think his first start was against us, and to watch him progress not only through last season but through this season, really is coming on. Going to be a talented kid.
I mean, now there's only 2 games left for USC this season. What are your bowl game predictions, Chloe?
I'm thinking the Fiesta Bowl. I know it might be a little bit lofty, but it's one of the college playoff games. We're looking really strong at the end of this season. I really think that we can make it there. What are you thinking, Hannah?
You know, I think it might be the Alamo Bowl in San Antonio, Texas. USC is likely to play Washington in the Pac-12 championships. Washington is an incredible team, so therefore if they lose to Washington, they'll be second in Pac-12 and then would play the Big 12's third-place team in the Alamo Bowl, so I think that might be what ends up happening.
You know, we really need to stay healthy in order to make it to a bowl game.
I'm kind of getting concerned about our Trojans, not going to lie, but I think that Kendall Polk has some injury updates. Kendall?
Thanks, Hannah and Chloe. There are only 2 weeks left in the regular season, but the Trojans are fighting on regardless of multiple injuries. Among the many is walk-on freshman place kicker Chase McGrath. McGrath is being held from practice with a groin injury. Taking his place will be redshirt junior punter Reed Bovovich. In addition, standout linebacker Christian Rector is still not practicing due to a broken hand. His return is still unknown. The Trojans are also missing cornerback Eamon Marshall and running back Vavai Malipai, as both did not play last week due to injuries. Marshall is out with a knee injury, and Malipai is being evaluated on a day-to-day basis with sore knees. However, Helton is hopeful about their return to practices this week and feels they showed good signs in returning to the field this week against Colorado.
It's time for Trojan Horse. This week I'm joined with Aaron Glazer, Chloe Chrissy-Kopoulos, and Angel Viscar. Thank you guys for joining me this week.
Awesome.
Let's talk Sam Darnold, the past, the present, and the future. What are your thoughts on Sam this season?
I think for Sam, I mean, the narratives are so different depending on what you're looking at. If you're looking at the context of the season and what he's been able to do, especially late in games, it's been really impressive. But you look at the statistical numbers, obviously a slow start for him. Those 10 interceptions through, I think, 8 games it was. Definitely a slow start for him statistically, but a lot of people are looking at what he's doing intangible-wise, and he's led them to an 8-2 record, and they got a good shot at the Pac-12 title.
Aaron, what are your thoughts? He was projected to be the number 1 pick in the draft. What's changed?
Yeah, I think it's a matter of expectations versus reality. I mean, this is a guy who came to the season, cover Sports Illustrated, cover ESPN. The expectations were that he would just dazzle the field, as he did kind of in the back half of last year. And I think that, it's not fair to say he's done that. He's definitely thrown some picks. He's definitely had some struggles with finding receivers in the middle of the field. But I think it's also doing a disservice to say that because of that, his season is, ruined. I think that he's actually having a pretty good season. He's still, still commanding the offense. I think that's all you can really ask him to do. I know he would be personally upset with the way it's gone so far, but I think there's definitely a lot to smile about if you're Sam Darnold.
Chloe, what are your thoughts on Sam Darnold? There's a lot of hype about him going into this season. Has he lived up to it?
I don't necessarily think that he hasn't lived up to it. I just think that expectations were too high. He came in as #1 contender for the Heisman, and he was still a young quarterback. He showed up to play last year, and I think that he has continued to show up to play. We've had a lot of struggles with injuries on our offense, and we've had to work around that. So I think that he's really come out strong and worked with what he's given and created chemistry on the offense.
Here's the most pressing question of this season. Should Sam Darnold stay at USC for one more year, or should he go for the draft after this season?
I think a lot is still left to be determined when it comes to this question. I think what NFL execs are looking for, they're looking for flashes of greatness, flashes of potential. And with the Pac-12 championships game still ahead of him, 2 more regular season games in which he could really shine, and possibly a New Year's Six Bowl or unlikely a college football playoff berth, there's a lot of chances for Sam to show this to execs. But if I'm Sam, I'm coming back for one more year with the reloaded roster and a more veteran roster.
Aaron, what are your thoughts?
I think that obviously there are a lot of benefits to going to the NFL, mainly the fact that he would be doing it full time and the obvious compensation that would follow. Yeah. But I think that he should stay. I think that he could benefit from another year of school and being able to close out a degree, which past USC stars have said has really helped them out, going forward in the NFL and beyond the NFL and other career opportunities. But I also think that he would benefit from another year of Clay Helton's tutelage, just working on his technique, working on developing the already strong chemistry with his team. I think he would benefit from one more year, carry his team to a bit further heights, and then he can depart.
Chloe, if you were Sam Darnold, what would you do?
That's a tough one. I really think that I would stay at SC. I would develop my craft more. I would work to build chemistry with the offense. USC is a really young team. I think that they have a lot of potential and can potentially make it to a national championship next year. They just got to continue to work and to continue to develop as a team.
There are 2 games left this season. How will Sam Darnold finish it off?
I think Sam Darnold makes a strong push for himself as possibly an NFL draft candidate next year. I think he's going to make a lot of noise in these last 2 games. Colorado, a team that struggled heavily against the run, so that's going to open up that aspect. But I think that opens up a lot more play action possibilities. So I expect the big game against the Buffaloes, and UCLA has just been decimated by injuries. So I think it's a strong road to the Pac-12 South title for Sam.
Chloe, what are your thoughts?
I think that USC is having a great run. They struggled a little bit in the third quarter against Arizona, but they pulled it out. Strong finish. Offense looked really solid. I think that he has a great support system behind him, and I think that USC is going to win against Colorado and UCLA and take us to a college football playoff.
Aaron Glazer?
I think that he'll play well, kind of echoing the R7s. I think that he's going to, he's facing stereotypically a bit easier of opponents the next couple of weeks. I think he'll try to really fully max out his ability and put the team strong in December.
Well, thank you guys for your input. We'll see what Sam ends up doing after this season. From the field to the court, let's see what Will Fallensworth has to say about Trojan basketball.
Basketball is back. The USC men's basketball team opens their season Friday against Cal State Fullerton. The Trojans enter the season ranked number 10 in the AP preseason poll. This is the first time since 1974 that the team has entered the season in the top 10. The Trojans won a school record 26 games last season and advanced to the second round of the NCAA tournament. Now 35 teams won an NCAA tournament game last season, and USC is one of only 2 of those teams with all 5 starters returning. That includes forward Shemezi Metu, who averaged 14.8 points and 7.8 rebounds last season, and is on the preseason watch list for the Oscar Robertson Trophy as National Player of the Year. Junior power forward Benny Boatwright missed 17 games last season and still led the team with 287 total points. Boatwright looks to play a full season this year and is on the watch list for the Karl Malone Award given to the nation's top power forward. Joining the Trojans this year are Duke transfer Derek Thornton and freshman Chuck O'Bannon Jr., who is the first McDonald's All-American to join the Trojans roster since DeMar DeRozan. It all tips off 7:30 Friday at the Galen Center. But before that, 2 of our reporters caught up with the captains to play a little game.
We had each member on the team select an emoji that they think describes you. I will show you the top 3 that they chose, and then could you try and imitate it for me, please?
Or hurt, like.
Hurt? Yeah. Is it because you get hurt a lot?
Yeah, probably.
Are you injured a lot?
I'm not injured a lot, but they probably cracking jokes or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a cool, chill guy, so everything I do is chill, smooth on the court, and I think that's why they chose that one.
I guess it just looks like me. I'm always smiling, laughing. I'm goofy, so that's probably what it is.
Drake is the sixth god from Canada. That's the area code. And from where I'm from, 909, the Inland Empire. I rep the Inland Empire all day. That's where I'm from. So that's pretty much where it comes from, the 9 god.
I guess it's.
I'm all about the money. I'm a money man, so I'm all about the business.
Who are some new key players we should be looking for in the upcoming season?
Derek Thornton, transfer from Duke. The freshman, Jordan Usher, Charles O'Bannon, and Charles O'Bannon and Victor. They're really good, and they're going to be ready to produce right away.
The media predicted the team to finish second in the Pac-12 at the end of the season, and this is the highest USC has ever been predicted to finish, even ahead of UCLA. As captain, does this place additional pressure on you?
I don't think there's any pressure. I just think that if we go out there and do what we have to do every night, then the season should be fun. It should be a really fun one that we can hopefully accomplish a lot along the way.
How does it feel to be regarded by ESPN as the most experienced team in the nation?
It's great. Coming from my freshman year, we were one of the least experienced, and we've had a couple players stay these last couple of years. This is my 4th year, Elijah's 4th year, Jim and Benny's 3rd year. So now that we got some experience, it'll definitely help us down the end of the season in the tournament and key moments during games.
Do you think these are accurate?
Absolutely not.
At the homecoming game against Arizona, some familiar faces stepped into the Coliseum.
That's right, Chloe. Notable alumni like Pittsburgh Steelers Troy Polamalu and Juju Smith-Schuster came back to their collegiate turf.
Troy Polamalu was one of 18 recipients that was inducted into USC's Hall of Fame.
Juju Smith-Schuster came back to the field that he played on just last season. Instead of catching passes, he was posing sideline with the caption, quote, "It's good to be home in LA." What do you thought about Colorado so far, though?
You know, I think that we cannot sleep on them at all. We need to come ready to play, ready to take on Phillip Lindsay. He's a great running back.
It's going to be super fun. I know a lot of USC kids are going out to Colorado for the game this weekend, so we'll have to see what happens.
Hopefully there's no snow. You know.
Oh, gosh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it's pretty cold up there, especially this time of year, and USC is not used to that.
All right, we'll have to see what happens.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Annenberg Media Sports.
Make sure to tune in next week for all things USC. Have a good day.